Yo, we back again. Listen and learn, ignore and get burned. You know, it's a double header on the interviews today. Next up, we got Rickshon. Shout out to Has. Shout out to Rex. Shout out to Caution. Rizzo Mercer. You know, we definitely gonna get into this next interview. Let me get my man Rickshon up here. Gotta add Has back. Amy, I see you. Belena, I see you. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I might be getting it wrong. Amy, if I messed your daughter's name up, don't slap my hat off. Get Rickshon up here. Pull Has it back up. There we go. I forgot. Sorry, Lily. That's what I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave it at Lily. Forgot about that. I needed that reminder. No, I'm old over here. I'm like the youngest senior citizen you ever meet. Trying to get Rickshon on here. Where's he at? Yo, Has, I sent you a request. Trying to get this going right now. What's good with everybody? Everybody that's in tune right now. What's up? How y'all day going? There we go. We got the man of the hour. We got Rickshon here.
Yeah, what's happening, man? What's happening with you?
Good, man. How your day going, man? Everything good?
Good. Can't complain, bro. I just got back home.
All right, I hear that. You know, we're gonna get into this interview. I got my other boy Has pulling up.
Oh, bet.
We're
What's
gonna
good,
get
brother?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
we're gonna get this all
Hey,
together.
appreciate you coming up here. Well, not up here, but appreciate
Yeah,
you
I got you.
tuning
Yeah,
in.
no problem.
Appreciate this, man.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, I listened to that that you added to the story.
Yeah.
Yo, word, man. All right. I can't wait to get into talking about this.
Yeah, appreciate it,
Or
man. Thank
go
you.
ahead. Go ahead, Has. You here, you can set this one off. I set the last interview off, so you can set this one off.
All right, so this is an episode of Listen and Learn, Ignore and Get Burned. Today, my humbly respect and full due, I want to give a shout out. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother. Let people know you, and we're gonna get into it.
Man, how you doing, man? This is Rickshon. You know what I'm saying? Originally from Lansing, New Jersey. Right now I live in like the greater Philadelphia area. I started out like doing instrumental music as a kid, playing the saxophone, reading sheet music, all that stuff, learning a little bit of the piano. Then I got into rapping like later in my teen years, started doing the rap thing. I always knew I could produce, but I didn't want to do too many things at the same time. You know what I mean? So then eventually I got to the producing. And I started going with that more so than anything.
Hey, you know what? Something stood out that I want to actually. Everything stood out, but you said you say you from Jersey.
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey. Yeah, I'm from Lansing originally.
Hey, shout out Jersey or
Yeah, you see in
Jersey.
the building, man, you know what I mean? Venice Park, neighborhood, First Bridge, you know how it go.
All right, man. So one question that I had off back is because I listen to I caught a sample of what you do and I like it, man. I really I was vibing. Um, I'm gonna start off with like the famous question because it kind of inspired me. I actually wrote a 16 to just the music behind. Yeah, I'm so serious. So I
That's what's
wrote a
up.
16 to the music behind that. So What inspires you? What gives you that drive? What brought you to music?
Well, I've been doing music since I was like 4. You know what I'm saying? Like my aunt, my mom's younger sister, she was a singer in Milan City. She's probably well known in her like age group. But she used to sing with this guy called Dr. Chico in a band. He was like
I
a
know that.
PhD, yeah, PhD music performer. She used to be a lead singer for him. She worked at the casinos and things like that. She taught herself piano. She was like the first one that kind of noticed that I was good at actually music because I would listen to something and I'll be able to find a key or I'd be probably like a half note off, something like that. And she was like really impressed that a 4-year-old could decipher the harmony from a song that he heard and then find it on the piano. You know what I mean? And then she kind of like told my grandmother. My grandmother was always my biggest supporter. So she like brought me like my first instrument. She like set me up with like school learning and everything like that. And I just kind of like really got into it. And then I got to hip hop like a little later because my mom was like a hardcore like Christian. You know what I'm saying? So like I wasn't really allowed to listen to it like that, like as a kid. You know what I mean? But I had friends, you know what I mean? Like when I go to my dad's house, it was a different vibe. You know, he go do whatever you want, don't kill yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that approach. You know what I mean? So that's how I got my feel of everything. You know what I mean? Like I started with jazz, started with blues. I used to listen to rock. You know what I mean? I got into pop. Because I'm from Jersey, I like house music. You know what I mean? And then, hip hop, of course, spoke to me more than anything because I'm from the environment. You know what I mean? So I understand where a lot of the music coming from and the place of music. And then as I got older, I understood that what makes the artist a great artist is their life experience. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
how you make your music your own music. Instead of you sounding like somebody else, be yourself. And when you be yourself, your music comes out in yourself. You know what I mean? So that's really what drives me. Like I have my I guess you can call them like the people that I look up to musically, be it rappers and be it producers, but I don't try to copy what they do. You know what I mean? I let them inspire me to find what I'm trying to look for in my scene, my lane, so to speak.
That's actually amazing. Another thing that stood out, the fact, how many instruments? Because you said it. So you've already been musically inclined since the youth.
Mm.
And the instruments is those that works a different part of your brain. So as far as instruments, how many are you like really familiar with? I would say.
Well, I'm familiar with the alto and the soprano saxophone, but those are the two that I actually played like as a child, like from my young years to like my teenage years. And then I know my way around a piano. Like I wouldn't call myself a full-on pianist because I can't just play whatever song that you put up there. You know what I mean? But I can make my own stuff on the piano, and I could teach like a kid the basics of a piano, like which the C key, C1, C2, C3, major minor chords. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Pattern, stuff like
I
that.
might need to holler at you because those are two of my things. Like I grew up like a big Kenny G fan. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like with the sax. And then I always wanted to learn how to play piano because I love the sound of keys.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
great
really
thing.
like the piano's like the quarterback of like music instruments. You know what I mean? Like once you really get accustomed to that, it's easier to learn how to like figure out other stuff. Like I don't know how to play the bass, but because of technology, right? We got like software where you can like for instance, like you got something from Waves, like it's called a bass, like called a bass plugin, and actually has the visual of a bass. So when you're playing the keyboard notes, you see what the note is on the bass string. So if you actually got a bass, you'll be able to play. Oh, this is the G sharp. You know what I mean? Like right here, this is the B. Like you can figure it out. Like, and I think they do that with a lot of plugins now, which is really helpful to people that want to learn like instrumentation without actually having to go to the teacher. You know what I mean? That's the dope part about what we got going on with technology with music now.
That's
That's dope
absolutely
right there.
amazing.
I got a question. So, with your music and your sound, like, what artists inspired your sound? Whether they be local or mainstream, like, what artists inspired your sound?
Well, for me, I mean, like it started out like when I was a kid. It started out with like Nas mostly. You know what I mean? 'Cause I was always a big history buff. Like I like history. Like that was always like my favorite subject. And like Nas always blended in, street knowledge with actual history, especially Black history. You know what I'm saying? Which really like taught you about yourself and taught you about your people. You know what I'm saying? And then
Right.
because of circumstances in my personal life, I ventured off to the street. You know what I mean? Like I was always a fan of Jay. But I really became a fan of Jay when I really started understanding his perspective, when I was actually in his perspective. You know what I mean? So then that actually kind of took more into my psyche because, when, like, for instance, when he put out the Blueprint album, I think I was like 17 or 18. I was like 18. I was just fresh out of high school. And, you know, he had the line, you know, where he was like, hopefully you have to go through that. And me and my roommate, we was hustling. We used to laugh at that line all the time. We was like, oh, too late, nigga, but all right. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
You know what I mean? But
No,
so it was like, as he got older and he started maturing in his music, I started learning from him in terms of like economics and financial education. Because he would say stuff in his bars and I caught it and I got it. You know what I mean? And then, you know, as you watch this dude just progress to what he's become, you realize like, yo, like I can go to another level than where I'm at in my personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this
yeah,
music
like it's me too.
yeah, it's like music is a fuel for it, but it's not the only fuel. You know what I'm saying? And then with production wise, like it's Pharrell's my favorite. Flat out. Like he's my favorite. He might not be everybody's greatest producer, but he's my favorite personally. You know what I'm saying? Because he has similar stuff like I had with the actual instruments. And then it's like I've always loved like the synthesizer sound. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I had my first Casio, that was like the main stuff I used to play with. And then that's a lot of his sound was the synthesizer sound. So you know what I mean? So hearing him and then how he does with him and Chad do with the drum combination with the bass, that really just jumped out to me. And just how unorthodox their sound is from DJ Premier or Dr. Dre or Jay Dilla. You know what I mean? Like all Pete Rock, all the guys that give you the
Oh,
boom
you
bap.
mentioned Jay Dilla. You
Yeah,
mentioned Jay Dilla. That's amazing.
he in his bag. Jay Dilla is a legend. He in his bag.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
for real.
the way Dilla chops is just like Dilla. What I took from him was find your own style of chopping. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many videos that tell you this. Are you learn how to chop like Jay Dilla? Don't try to do what his style is. Look at what he does, and then say to yourself, all right, I got to create my own style of chopping. I got to find my own formula because that's what he did. He found his own formula, and that's what made him so ill at what he did with chopping records. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what I took from him was like learn how to chop without. Like, I don't even watch too many videos on how to chop because it's like it'll ruin the way you want to chop because you'll be trying to do what the person is saying.
Yeah. So I know you like I could just hear from it that you're big on originality. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with a lot of the projects that you might be working on now or worked on, when you get into your zone, what's I don't want to dig too deep, but what is like your zone like? Like the zone that you can carry to get you to create.
Like when I was when I was just rapping, right? Like it would be like an ill beat that I heard that would inspire me to want to start writing, and then I would come up with the line so quick. You know what I mean? So that would get you really going because you're like, oh, this line is crazy. And then you got the next line, the next line, the next line. And then it's like when I started really getting into producing, for me it was always adding the drums to the melody. You know what I mean? Like because I would do the melody first. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it was always I always got to start with the melody. Like I would do the melody, and then when I add the drums to it, then it's like, you know what I mean? You get that look on your face. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
catch it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's crazy now because like where I'm at right now, presently, I'm really nose diving into the engineering part of the record. So it's like I'm grooving already just off the music. But when I started mixing and mastering the record, that's when I really feel crazy because you can have a great idea, but if you don't mix and master it right, it sounds hard. You know what I mean? Like I literally spent like I've been living in this house that I got like for 3 years now. I've been spending the whole time like trying to treat the room that I'm in because I'm making a record and then I'm like, if the bass don't sound right, and I got to step back in the back of the room. I'm like, oh, now it's that. You know what I mean? But I shouldn't have to do that. So now I'm adding this, adding that. I'm going online trying to figure out how to treat the room right. So for me, it's like the mixing and mastering part of the idea is what makes me really go crazy because I'm like, now it sounds like what it sounded like in my head. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this, even though I know this what the obvious answer is gonna be, but have you ever been at that point where you make a beat one day, right, and then you go back and listen to it at nighttime, and it wasn't as fire to you as it was during the day, like the
Yeah,
vibe change?
yeah. See, now, that made me change my whole sleep pattern because I used to be like a night owl. I used to stay up like 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, like working on records. And to me, that's a horrible idea. So like any young producer that's out there, like that's watching this, like that's a horrible idea. You're better off just going to bed at like 9:30, 10, waking up in the morning early, and then getting to work. Because at night, your ears are so fatigued just from you being awake through the whole day. You think what you're making at 2 a.m. sounds crazy. And then you wake up at like 8:30, like, the fuck was, like, what the hell? Like, this don't sound like nothing. You
Yeah.
know, you're like, what? You're like, I was bugging last night. But you're like half sleep. So that's why you do that. You know what I mean? So now that I changed my sleep pattern, I pretty much got rid of that problem altogether.
That's dope right there.
That's
And
a great tip. That was a great tip. And that's more than just producing, because even as a writer myself, and you know that, and I think it's because at nighttime, you know, we have nothing but the time, so our thoughts go, right? So it's like we insert our thoughts into things, and you might have that feeling then. And
But
like you just
I
said,
can't front.
and
I'm
I'm bit
not
of,
like with me being a writer and all that shit too. Some of my most of all, I won't even say some. Majority of my best thoughts come at night.
right.
Well,
But
see,
that's called being a perfectionist.
I think as a writer, right? Like, if you're not fatigued and tired, you're pretty much still sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different when you awake and you're like conscious at 2 a.m. You're fine. There's another thing you're trying to write, you dozing off. Like, that's, you know, that's different. You know what I
Right.
mean? But from a producer standpoint, because you're just using your ears, because you're doing everything mechanically, you might be awake, but your ears still aren't at peak performance. So you don't
Yeah.
know exactly if it's really sounding right, especially if you're trying to mix or master the record. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens really the next morning. You like, yo, the drum and the bass is just mushed together. It sounds like a bunch of mud. Like, it don't even sound like it's separated. Right? You know what I mean? Like,
So this leads me to my
And-
next question, because I listened to your beat albums and I picked out three favorites. I'm aiming to see what three hit me, and the three that hit me, and I feel like you probably made these in the morning at that time when your ears wasn't fatigued. My three favorite beats is Morristown. I wrote it down too. Morristown, Close to You, and Can't Get Away.
okay. Well, Morristown actually is a collaboration with me and a guy by the name of Michael Moore. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually I sampled the group Ready for the World. You know what I mean? I did a melody around it, and then Mike did the drums and a drum change up. You know what I mean? So I gotta give Mike his props on the drum change of how he did that, because he really gave it that extra like that makes rappers want to write to it. It makes you want to do something different with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you said it was Can't Get Away, right?
Yeah, can't get away and Close to You.
All right, Close to You. Close to You was like definitely like I think I was still playing like Final Fantasy at the time, like the one that came out on PS4 and 5. So like just that music, that background music really is like real soothing. So I wanted to try to like capture that type of feel. And then a lot of times people don't realize is like the vocals are not actually vocals from the actual melody. Those vocals are a cappella. They don't even belong with that music. Like, I just found the vocals and I felt the vocals matched the mood of the actual melody.
And you built
I put it in
around.
there. Yup. You know what I
That,
mean? And then,
that shit sounded fire to me too. Like, so
appreciate
I'm
it.
not that.
And then, Can't Get Away was just like me just want to get in that soul food, like boom back feel. You know what I mean? Like that's like the roots. I always gotta go back to it. I can't just not. You know what I mean? Like that feel.
I respect it. Being that we on the music, another question. I do like your single "How We Living." I want to know how did you come up with that song? Because listen to that song kind of tells me something about your character. It tells me like you a strong dude and you willing to keep it pushing. So what kind of zone was you in when you created that song?
Great. That's a great question. The crazy thing about that beat is probably maybe 3 or 4 years old now. Like, and that's probably the fifth variation of it. Believe it or not. Like, the first variation is on the Sound of the 616 instrumental that I did. It's like the last record. You know what I mean? And then, like, yeah. And then so I went to like 2 or 3 other variations. I sent the beat out because I didn't really like the drums that much. Like for the rap over, so I sent it out to different guys to get different people's take on it. Like, because sometimes it's good to let other people just touch your stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of being a producer too. Like, not having the ego and feeling like you got to do everything yourself. You know what I mean? It's good to work with other people, especially when you're trying to achieve something with the music. You know what I mean? And then they were sending me stuff back. I still wasn't kind of really feeling it. And then I finally caught the vibe one day, and I actually did the drums where I liked them, where you hear it on the record. And the drum roll that happens, the tom roll that happens at the hook part, my 3-year-old son actually did that by accident, like messing around in the room with me while I was actually working on it. He like hit the key by accident, and I heard it. I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, stop touching stuff." Then I'm like, "Wait a minute." I'm like, what did you just hit again? Like, then he hit it again, and I'm like, and it gave me the idea, like, yo, that's what I could do right there. Look, I could make a roll right there. That'd be crazy. You know what I mean? Then I called my cousin's wife's older sister because she's a really good singer, and I had the idea for the hook. I wrote the words myself. I called her. And I said, yo, I need you to sing on this hook for me. I got an idea for the song. So there's actually a recording studio like 2 minutes away from my house, like around the corner from me. The guy like won like a Grammy for like engineering like a gospel album, and he has like a full-on like studio next to his house, like it's a whole different compartment. So I went over there to his spot, and that's where we recorded the song, the vocals. I had my guy Dave, shout out to Dave. He mixed the record for me, mastered the record, and I just wanted to talk about just like, you know, no matter what's going on, man, like you just gotta get how you living, man. We can't choose who our parents are. Some of us don't have the greatest parents. We can't choose what environment we grow up in. Some of us don't grow up in the greatest environment. But as long as you're alive, as long as you're breathing, you got to find a way to make it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as you breathing, you got a chance to change whatever your situation is. You know what I mean? So that's just how I felt. Like, you just got to get it how you live. Like, you know what I mean? We wake up every day and go get it.
I like
Hey,
that.
do you mind saying that
That's a
one more
good
time,
record.
please? Because that's great right there, and that's a lot of inspiration for people out there.
Yeah,
And some
like, you know,
people
like
might need to
some of
hear
us are
that.
born, like some of us are born in really crappy situations that we can't help. You know, we can't help what your parents are. You can't help what neighborhood you grew up in. You can't help the environment that you're just surrounded by. What you can help is that you're alive and you can change it. You know what I mean? So you can't sit there and soak over like, why I ain't get this opportunity, or why this ain't working, why this ain't. It is what it is, man. Like, you alive, you're still breathing, you're still able to make moves, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, get up and make it happen. That's because you control your destiny. Like, I think I hate to quote the dude because he's a little suspect, but what he said was legit. He said, you know, it's not your fault that you're born poor. It's your fault when you die poor. You know what I'm saying?
God.
You
Man,
know what I mean? Like, so,
that definitely make a lot of sense. Can't argue with that one.
yeah.
See, stuff like that hit home with me too, because I'm a warrior of life. When nobody's on this earth is a professional liver, you know, like we're all
Mhm.
dealing with situations, and you know that hits home for anybody. So I like that.
Appreciate
And
it.
Bill, definitely, you did your homework. I should have. I felt a little irresponsible. I didn't do as much homework.
So it's all good. It's just I just be on my homework shit like that. Last night I was judging some online battle too. I had to do my homework on. I took notes in the pad too, writing down which bars I like the most, so that way niggas don't feel like I was giving them unfair judgments. I'm just one of them guys like that. You feel me?
Yeah,
You're a
for sure.
strong thinker. That's a good thing to have, and I can tell this man's a strong thinker for
Definitely.
sure.
That's and much respect to you, Rickshon, for being as strong as you are and keep doing what you
Thank
do, man. Like so, as far as with the music, what's up next for you? Like collab albums, EPs.
you. Yeah, so right now I actually have a collab album out. It's called Gaia. It's with me and a female producer. Her name is Black Cactus. And you probably didn't see it on the direct DSPs with me because those are just my solo projects, the three that you probably saw. This one is like me and her, so you have to probably put my name and her name in prior to find it. You know what I mean? But that's out right now. I can go check that out. It's pretty much my vibe and her vibe blend together. Like, the album cover is crazy because like we split down the middle. And we got our backs to the wall, and it's like created characters of us. She's like a real earthy type of person, so her character is like an elf or something like that in the woods, like a princess, something like that. I'm more into like the tech stuff, so my dude's like a half cyborg in like a futuristic city type of setting, and we're just like back to
That's
back,
fire.
and we just like we just vibing with each other. We're from different environments. You know what I mean? And then I
That
got
shit like a triple entendre too. That's fire.
yeah, then we got like I got a drum pattern. I got a drum kit coming out. It's called the Rider drum. You know what I mean? I kind of named it after my first name. And it's pretty much a bunch of one shots, like kicks, snares, hi hats, open hi hats, closed ones, cymbal crashes, like stuff that I like to use in my own like records. You know what I mean? But I figured, why not put a drum kit out there? People might want to use some of the stuff that I use to make their stuff sound similar. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those sounds you can be heard on this project I'm working on currently right now. It's an album. I'm trying to get it done before I go to LA. Like so I got like a month left. If not, I'll probably have it out probably before the summer's over. And I'm calling it Bankers Rule Kings. That's what I'm calling it. It's called Bankers Rule Kings.
That's
and it's
wild.
yeah, it's
Well,
gonna be a
That's
what
wild. I like
inspired
that.
that
I like
title?
that.
well,
How did that title come about?
in a, I feel like an independent music market right now, right, which has millions and millions of people that have projects that are coming out every single day. I have to have some type of name that'll make somebody, if they scrolling, stop and say, "Yo, what's this about?" And then they click the button. You know what I mean? So I feel like that title might jump out at people. You know what I mean? Because the album itself is going to be more of a it's gonna be more in the style of the Anime Shine project that I put out, where it's more like house music, you know what I'm saying, with vocals and a lot of the actual acapella vocals that I built around. You know what I'm saying? So the vocals don't have nothing to really do with the music. I found the vocals and I just built the music around the vocals. And then you guys can check it out and see how it sounds. It's
And
probably like
I'm glad you brought up animation because I was just going to get into that with that house music sound because I peeped that and that cover art on that is fire too. So with me seeing you doing the house music sound, I gotta ask you about this. I don't know if you heard it, but have you heard Drake's new album? And if you did hear it, how do
yeah.
you feel about the house sound he tried to do?
All right, so all right, so check this out, right? A lot of people have been slamming this album, right? They've been slamming it because we all have what we're used to getting from Drake, whether it's the R&B, lover guy stuff, or the hip hop. I mean, you 25 bars, Drake, right? Drake, I think because he's such a world travel person, he he gets influenced by his everyday life, his everyday things that he runs into. He's in Europe for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows people that's from Europe, so he probably vibes with that sound. Also, because he's at the level he's at, he might be getting some like I don't know, like behind the scenes elbows to people like, yo, that sound's coming back. Like they might try to bring that sound out this summer. They might try, you know what I mean? So he's like, all right, let me try to capitalize on that sound because I know that sound, I'm familiar with it, I like that sound. Why not make a project like that? And on top of it, if you think about it on a business perspective, he just got done the deal that he had, right? And this new deal he has, like he's fresh off the books. He doesn't have, six people with their hands in his pocket like he had before. Because before when he had the deal, he had to pay Matt Main, Wayne, Birdman, Slim, Lucian Grains from Universal, whoever the vice president is, Universal,
His
all these
team.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's OVO Sound Universal Republic. So it's him getting his check and then Lucian and his people getting their check. There's probably only two hands before his hands touch it. So he's the type of petty person that he probably hates the fact that so many people got so much money off of him from his past part of his career. So in his mind, what way can I can never get it all back, right? But what big leap can I make to get some of that money back? Because a lot of people get turned on by the fact that, oh well, it's not selling that much in the first week. First week numbers don't matter. What matters is how much percentage you have of what's coming out of it. If you're only getting 2% or you get 10%, selling 1.5 ain't the same as somebody that's getting 80% of selling 250,000. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know
Get
what I
that.
mean? Like the guy that sold 250 that has 80% of the royalties is making way more money than the guy that has 1.5 that's making 2% or 5%. So now that Drake has a bigger slice of the pie, I think he's trying to play catch up to the money he lost. And this is the type of album that not only is he going to get burned the whole summer, it's going to get burned probably the next 10 summers worldwide because he is who he is at the level he's at. And they're going to always find a reason to play one of these songs and one of these records. You know what I mean? Like, so,
And that's what I peep. Though I don't feel like he perfected the house sound enough.
mhm,
How he was supposed to do, like how Beyonce
mhm,
did for her
It felt
current
dry.
album,
It felt kind of
like
dry.
how Beyonce did for her current album. She say Renaissance. She went and spoke to different house artists.
mhm,
That's why her Break My Soul joint sound as
yeah.
good as it do. See Drake, I feel like he wasn't as organic. On now
Yeah,
it's like
I
kind
think it
of
was
forced
cool.
it to me. I peep why he did it though. I know that shit gonna
Mhm,
get bumping Hollister, H&M. That shit gonna get all the bumps in there worldwide. But you know what I'm saying?
Forever
And
21,
it's,
yeah, absolutely.
everything.
and it's only two songs on there I like, which is Sticky and the Jimmy Cooks joint. But
Yeah,
like I feel he could have been more organic with it. Like it's like you got too much
yeah,
bread, too much experience in the game to just be
Even,
forcing
that,
shit.
even, even if it's not like like you're listening, but you
hmm
can hear those things, and that's why I was appreciating what he just said. Like he 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 seen the bigger picture. We seen the bigger picture, but like you said, I felt like it was dry. It was kind of careless.
Yeah, it's
hmm
Like
like and
he
it's like
kind of he got nudged, but he kind of just threw it together. That's how I feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's
Yeah.
like people who like the album, I don't knock y'all for liking it, but stop trying to force people into liking the album. Talking about your credit scoring high enough to like it and all this other
Yeah.
stuff. You don't understand how it's like look, people understand different vibes and all. Like I fuck with house music, I understand different vibes. And you know, now that Drake came out with this, everybody seemed to be so brainwashed. But it's like, yo, house music been going on. I'm like, if y'all like this so much, why ain't hear none of y'all talk about Catronata Bubba album that dropped in 2019? That album's
That's
fire.
right.
You
I mean,
can't tell me
And they got
you got people like
you
Carl
can't tell
Cox
me who
that doing
Catronata
it.
is. So how you like house music?
you said they got
And
what
then,
now?
and then you got to think about it. It's people like Carl Cox that have been doing it for like 20, 25 years. You know what I mean? But the sad part about it
Strong.
is we live in a culture now where most people are just follow the leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the record companies know if we play this song enough, we'll get people to like it. So it's force feeding a person, but people are trained at this point that when they see a brand, when they see a label, they just accept. Oh, this is what they're giving me. All right, cool. Let me just eat this. You know what I mean? And it's sad. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of stale at this point, but majority of people are still being led like cattle. You know what I mean? And I think they understand. I think a lot of these artists understand that, which is why they're pandering to the TikToks, trying to go viral and get people to dance to their songs instead of just being organically making your record and just letting what happens happen.
And to go off of what you said, completely right, because you ever hear people say the song had to grow on me, or like, you know, it's like you get force fed it so much, you tolerate it mostly,
Mm-hmm.
so you
But
accept it.
it's all good. Just what they want to do with Drake shit. They want to say your credit scoring high enough to like the album. When I make my song
Yeah,
Wheelchairs Rolling, I'm gonna be like, if you're not in a wheelchair or rock with people in wheelchairs, you ain't gonna understand the song. Don't fuck with it.
Okay.
you feel me?
Okay.
Go break your
And yo,
legs and then get
and then
back
yo,
at me. You hear me?
I'm I'm glad you said that too with the credit score thing. The thing that people don't realize what that is, like you can have a high credit score, but if you ain't doing nothing with it, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like the whole point is to have the credit score to do something with it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just still walking around with a 750 or 800, whatever, and you're not doing nothing with it at all, it's the same as somebody. It's the same as somebody having like a luxury car they never drive. They just showing you pictures they got the car.
Right.
You understand? Or they got a rollie they'll never bring out. They didn't show you. I got the rollie. It's in the crib, but I ain't gonna bring it out. But I got it in the crib though. It's like, come on, if you got a credit score, do something with it. Otherwise, you're not saying that. Because there's people out here that's more successful with a 700 than somebody with 850. Because that person with a 700 might have a business that they're actually using the credit score for. Well, meanwhile, the other person got a JOB and they just walking around with the credit score.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you say
And
that
they
because
should.
I know you into finance and all that, and that's what I'm trying to go. My credit score is 715. I'm trying to pop me a nice business somewhere. It's like you said, what's the point of having a nice credit score and not using it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
You know what I
Well, a
mean?
lot of
Like,
people do that because the same reason people buy stuff that they don't need. It's to show a representation that you have something, to show people that you have something. And it's kind of
Yeah.
irrelevant because the people that actually have stuff don't even do the same type of things than people that don't have stuff and want to look like they have stuff.
yeah, I mean, and then like the funny thing about it is like when you don't have nothing, you show a lot, right? When you actually start to get stuff, you just naturally just stop showing because it's like you don't care what people think because you know you got it. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like, and
Exactly.
that's a
Exactly.
real thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I spent way more money on clothes when I didn't really have any money. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you get to a point where you just don't even care. You just want to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's about just being comfortable. Like step out the house every day and being relaxed. You know what I mean? Like 'cause you can, as much as I like Jordans, they ain't that comfortable, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
They're not.
all the things
They're
ain't that
not.
comfortable.
They're
You know what I mean?
not.
Like
Not even
so,
for basketball.
yeah,
But it's all about. That's what I said. It's all about representation. You know, just like they say, dress your part type thing. So this is what people do in this world. It's from the book of laws of attraction, 48 laws of power. It's things like that. It's to give the representation. All right, I'm not gonna go off subject, but I'm gonna give it as an analogy. When you're in
mm-hmm.
the woods and you see a bear, you're supposed to appear like you're big.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get into the business world, you're around these people, and they're dealing business, and the business world is one of the most cutthroat businesses you could ever find. It's bigger than any corner. Like
Absolutely.
so, so what people do is they have to have an image to represent themselves. So it's like they need they need their representation of themselves to succeed them. So for
Mm-hmm.
somebody to see or hear about them before they get there. So people want to buy these cars, they want to wear these jewelries, these clothes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
people could talk about them and spread the word. And in all actuality, they don't have it. They don't have it like that. So they buy things to impress people that probably don't even like them, or they don't even like, but they
Mm-hmm.
need to show these people that I have
Yeah.
it.
And that,
It's a
and
mental
that goes
condition.
back to like that goes back to the reason why, like I said, like the album being called what it's called, because it's like the most powerful people are not the most famous people. You know what I mean? Like I remember
Right.
like the interview I saw like a couple years back with 50 Cent. Like somebody asked 50 Cent like, you know, like how do you still go so hard when you got the 100 million or whatever from the Coca-Cola thing? Like what made you still just keep grinding? He was like, honestly, he said he went to a party that some billionaire guy that he knew like asked him to come because he wanted to show off that he knew 50 Cent. You know what I mean? He said, you know, I'm the most famous person there, but I was the brokest person there. You know what I'm saying? Then he said one of the guys walked up to him and he was like, yo, I like what you did with that Coca-Cola deal. He's like, you did it about 10 more times, you can fuck with me. Like that's what the dude told him. Like, and then like, and so it was like, that's crazy. Like, but in actuality, there are people out here that can walk by you down the street and they might own every building on the street, but you don't even know who they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you
Yeah.
got to think about the people that make the money that, you know, we all spend, that we all trying to grind to get, the Federal Reserve, the CEO is more powerful than your favorite artist. You know what I'm saying? But he could walk right past one of them. We wouldn't even know who it was unless we Googled, unless we were somebody that was Googling these people to see what they look like. You know what I mean? So it was like being
Bill
famous
Gates
and
shop
being
at
powerful
like
ain't the same
Kmart
thing.
or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So with your wisdom and knowledge, Rickshon, we got to get into the other side of you. I know you had said you into finance and economics, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what led you to that path to become good in finance and economics?
Well, I had, you know, like both my parents, like, were high school dropouts, you know what I'm saying? Like, and my dad, he was like a really hard, like, worker or whatever. And my mom, like, she was a hard worker, but it was like, they didn't really, like, you know, they were split. So they didn't really have much, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother, my mom's mom, was a school teacher. She had a, you know, school teaching job. My grandfather had the same job. He worked there for 30 plus years. So it was like, like, in my house, I was poor. At my grandparents' house, I felt middle class. You know what I mean? So I got an opportunity to see how they're living opposed to how I'm living. And I'm trying to figure out, well, why does she have so much food in her refrigerator and we don't? Why do they have a car and we don't? Like, you know what I mean? So then as I got older, I realized that there's more out here than what even they have. You know what I mean? And then when you get into the socially conscious things of our people as black people, why are we where we are economically, and why are the other people where they are economically? You ask the question, why is this? How is that? You know what I'm saying? Now we live in an era of information where you don't have to just ask how or why. You can ask Google how such and such is happening, and you'll take you right down a rabbit hole. So I started watching, like, you know, a lot of videos just on investment. Like I said, what makes a billionaire a billionaire? What makes somebody have $500 million? How do you get $200 million? Like, and then you learn about investing. You learn about buying shares of a company and how those shares can appreciate and greater value. You know what I mean? How you can catch that upward swing, the upward flip. You learn about what people do with real estate. You know what I'm saying? You understand how the real estate market works. What makes a property by the beach more profitable than a property that's in the middle of the city? You know what I mean? Like, or gentrification. You start figuring out what that is. Like, why are they moving these people out? And then they're rebuilding when they could have been rebuilding when the people were there. You know what I mean? And then you think, so it just takes you down this huge rabbit hole into just finding out what makes everything tick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I came to the realization of, oh, okay, along with, gotta get props to Jay-Z, along with Jay-Z always talking about in his music, about different moves he was making. And then you Googling Jay, you seeing Jay's worth $1.2 billion, but his catalog and music is only worth $70 million. or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all those records, all those classics only worth 70 million, and then he's worth 1.2. Where's the rest of the money coming from? So then you realize where the rest of the money's coming from. So this liquor business is a really profitable business. And I understood that firsthand working in we got something called the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board in Pennsylvania, where it's controlled by the state. So like I was working for a security company at the time, we were contracted to those places. So even during a recession of like 2007, 2008, even in 2009, no matter how bad it was out here, people were still buying alcohol. We still had the lines out the door. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what was going on, we still had people on the holidays buying their liquor. So it made sense to me how Ace of Spades worked as much, how Armadale was doing what it was doing, why Ciroc is doing what it's doing. You know what I mean? Like, so then you get into the clothing aspect. You look at Kanye West, knowing that as a celebrity, I'm just as famous as a basketball player. So if I make a shoe and it's comfortable, people will buy the shoe like they will buy a Jordan or a LeBron shoe. But then the relation is, I'm not a superhuman athlete. I'm somebody that you can touch, feel. There's more people that feel like they're good at music than there are people that feel like they're good at basketball. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the musician shoe is selling more than the athlete shoe now. You know what I mean? So it's just going down that rabbit hole and just reprogram yourself, understanding that you don't know nothing, and then wanting to learn everything.
You know do y'all mind if I talk about one thing?
Sure.
I don't know, and this is for you guys, and for anybody that's listening. And I want to talk about the importance of having life insurance policy, because a life insurance policy is just as much collateral as having like a house or some land. You can borrow from it. You can same thing. Buy you some life insurance policy. And do it now. Don't wait until you become a senior citizen.
Because you're not guaranteed to be that age.
Exactly. And do it now. And you can use that money to build a future before you even get to the point where that money is actually necessary.
And
I'll get more in depth to it on another episode, but because I want to make sure when I write it down and I speak it, that I'm speaking complete facts so everybody can understand it, and then everybody could get a visual of what I'm saying. But when I tell you that is one of the most important things to have, especially in the Black community, I'm telling you, that's one thing you need.
And that's good you brought it up. So if either one of y'all ever found out about life insurance policy that accept people with pre-existing conditions, please let me know, because I've been trying to get life.
They have them. It's you're gonna pay a higher premium. You are, just like I'm a smoker. I smoke cigarettes. My premiums are gonna be higher.
Yeah, like my older brother in the world, so I think he has life insurance. I can ask him. You know what I mean? He probably tell me like what he actually he's using.
Yeah, definitely. Let me know what's going on. I definitely appreciate that.
It's definitely a safety net. It's definitely a safety net, especially for a family. Why do you think? And no offense to my Caucasians, why do you think a lot of white people always keep wealth in their family? They go get those policies. We didn't know nothing about this. They didn't teach us this in school. They didn't teach us about taxes.
It starts with education. Like it starts with financial education. I think what people have to realize is when you go to college, right? You go to college to learn a skill. You don't go to college to make money. That's not what college is for. You know what I mean? Because the people that's teaching are the best people doing it. Because those who can't do teach. You know what I mean? That's the old school saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if you want a business school, the guy that's teaching you business was not that great at doing a business, because that's why he's teaching. You know what I mean? Like, there's other forms. Like, you have to learn. You have to learn about money. You know what I mean? And that's what they do in the white community. They teach their children about money. You know what I mean? In the Asian community, they teach their children about money.
From when they first come out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what's going to empower you going forward. It's going to empower your family. That even after you're gone, your money doesn't just disappear. It don't just burn it. You know what I mean? Like it keeps recouping, keeps getting bigger and bigger. You know what I mean? Like
even if you have like a mistake or a downfall, you can always have a safety net.
Like nobody's gonna be perfect. Like Warren Buffett even talked about how he underestimated Amazon when he had a chance. He could have bought into a wavy back in 2002. He didn't think it was gonna do anything. And it's funny hearing that somebody saying that Yeah, somebody thinking that online service would blossom into what it becomes, but he's an older guy, so he didn't really see the vision. You know what I mean? Like, but
Mm.
where we at right now with the economy, how we might be going into another worse recession, maybe even a depression. That's what some people are saying. But
And a
this is
pandemic, another pandemic too. On
yeah,
top of
so
that.
this is the perfect time to start educating yourself on investing and buying shares and looking at different properties you might want to try to get your hands on. But things gonna be wholesale now because the value of everything is
Definitely
so
buy
low.
land.
Yeah,
Please let them know. Definitely buy land.
land is
Listen,
one of the most
I
land
I
is one of the most things
I
you can
done been
buy.
in North Carolina, and you could get an acre of land. There's certain areas you could buy 1 acre of land. I know it's just 1 acre for $1,200.
Mm-hmm.
If you could
But
get
listen,
12 other friends,
you can take that 1 acre, you could put a home there that's probably worth 600, 700,000. You know what I'm
now
saying? So yeah, like,
get you seven,
yeah.
8, 9, 10 other friends, and y'all
Mm-hmm.
put y'all money together and y'all buy that sort of land, and that's for y'all. Y'all got your own acre, y'all got your own thing, you got your own people around you too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We
You know
need
what I
to
mean?
start
Like,
thinking more broader as especially as black people, especially in today's age, while these people are
mhm,
sitting there on live TV showing us what we've been knew, but they're saying it now.
mhm,
We really need to start
absolutely.
thinking a little bit sharper
Absolutely.
and
I mean,
taking shit serious.
this the perfect time to do it. You know what I mean? Even on on like a micro level with just being an artist, like a lot of your competition is not going to be putting a lot of music out right now because it's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like it's expensive to put out music as an independent artist when you don't have a big label behind you, marketing and stuff for you, paying for the studio time, paying for the mixing, the mastering. If you don't make beats, you got to pay for the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so get yourself financially educated so you can get yourself the advantage. You can keep hitting streets with your stuff. You know what I mean? Because after a while, people who are looking for new music from organic places are going to start going to the same person they see always putting stuff out. They're like, this dude won't stop. He keeps dropping stuff. Like, that's what's up. Because everybody else can kind of ward it down a little bit because things are a little tight. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Gas is through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is the time to really take advantage of if you have the beans to keep putting out music, put it out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep,
put it out. Like,
and do it
Quick
heavy
question
too.
for you. So quick question for you, Rickshon, with the wisdom and knowledge you have on finance and economics, would you like to see yourself have a course showing people how to do these things and gain the knowledge that you have?
uh,
Even create an app showing people how to do this stuff?
I would think more of like doing more like a video log, like a video log more so. You know what I'm saying? Where I actually have like a whiteboard and I can actually like kind of get my thoughts out better so it's not confusing to people. You know what I mean? Like doing an app will work only when the thing I'm working on kicks in. Because I got something I'm working on that if it takes off the way it's supposed to, then yeah, I could do an app. I could do it. Like people just want to listen to me anyway because you know what I mean. What I got behind me is going to make people want to listen to me. You know what I mean? But I put certain investments in places where if 2 3 years from now, it might be a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I might be able to actually
See,
really
so
say something.
it's good I asked you that question
That's
because
some millionaire talk right there, bud.
that's what I'm saying.
That's
It's good
millionaire talk.
and it's good I asked you that question because you give me those vibes like you looking deeper into the future. So I
Yeah,
could tell
absolutely.
like in the way you
Because
got
I
plans
want
for other things.
like I've never been a person that believes in that whole always lonely at the top. It's only lonely at the top if you ain't helping nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you help people, other people can be up top with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Hey,
corny when
wait,
you
wait,
come
hold up, hold up. Can you pause right quick?
to
You said
He
help
yeah,
said
people, right? You
he
can't
yeah.
help
talking right
nobody
now.
that don't want to be helped. Now, can you please keep talking because you preaching, brother?
Yeah, real rap. And then it goes back to all right, look, it goes back to assessment. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to assessment. Like to break it down, like a lot of us, we try to help a lot of people, like he just said, that don't want to be helped. But it falls on you to make the proper assessment on who you trying to help. You know what I'm saying? Like you can almost if you sit back and you pay attention to your vibe, right? And you really examine the person, you can tell who the person is that's really trying to really do something. And the person that just talk, you know what I'm saying? Like because the person that's really trying to do something, is open-minded and they're looking for the right answer. They don't care who it's coming from or where it's coming from. It has to be the right answer. You know what I mean? Like, they put it on a music tip, right? A lot of people passed on Drake, right? A lot of people passed on Drake when he was trying to get on. I don't know how to market this dude. Oh, he's not hood enough. He ain't street enough. No one sat down and actually did an assessment and talked to the dude and said, yo, homeboy's kind of smart. He knows how to articulate his thoughts. He might be able to
He
sit
know
in
where
front of
he
these
want to
people.
go.
Yeah, he might be able to sit in front of these people at the top of the label that some of my homies from the block can't sit in front of and talk to. He might actually be able to sit down and talk to these people and get what he need out of them, which helps the whole team. He's not going to be a liability. I don't have to worry about him busting his gun in the club for no reason. I don't have to worry about him getting shot up while he's just trying to have fun with a lady. You know what I mean? There's all these things that people weren't thinking about when they looked at the dude when he was trying to get on. He's where he's at right now because of the mind state and the mind frame that he had. Same with J. Cole. Same with Kendrick. Same with Kanye West. If you look at the actual people that I'm talking about that are in the 8-9 figure millionaire range and they keep going up, they don't fit none of the criteria of what we thought a rapper was supposed to fit. Because that's what the guy who owned the record label was telling you, go find that dude because that dude's not a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing against OJ the Juice Man or nothing like that. But he ain't scaring Lucian Grange or Bloomberg. They're not scared of him. He's never gonna take he's never gonna take their spot. There's somebody like a Kendrick or a J. Cole or somebody, they could take his spot because they're just gonna get stronger, smarter, more powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they don't want those type of guys getting the money. They don't want those type of brothers getting the money because those are the brothers that
or the representation of them as a company either.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's where when you get into helping people, you have to find a guy that's going to be a threat to the opposition that's trying to stop us. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude that can't sit down at a bank and have a conversation with the bank teller and get what he needs out of him is not the guy that's a threat. He's a threat in our neighborhood. Sure, he's a threat in our neighborhood. Of course, yeah, he's a boogeyman in our neighborhood.
And he's a threat to the money, though.
You know what I'm saying? He's not like they're not working. He actually makes the money for the people on the other side because they can take his image and put it out there, and it's like a scary movie to the people in the suburbs. It's like an action movie to the people in the suburbs. They don't think that it's real, even though that's his real life he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? They look at it like as entertainment. And then if he gets killed or whatever, they'll just go find another one who does the same exact thing, dressed the same exact way, and they'll just keep putting the product out there. You know what I'm saying?
It's the music industry.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it boils down to.
I like this, man. With your knowledge, we definitely gotta have a part two with you one of these days.
Man. I appreciate it.
Word of month. I'm so glad that you tuned in and you decided to do this because you learn something new every day. And just as much as I could teach, I could be taught. And you actually opened my mind up to stuff that probably could have been sitting there. And then you opened my mind up to stuff that I had no idea about, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
I'm definitely about to be doing more research. Even after I come home from my doctor's appointment tomorrow, I got homework to do, man. This is
especially about life insurance. Especially about life insurance. And I'm telling you, Bills, that is, and anybody else that's watching and listening, telling you, really invest. If you really want to invest into your kids, you have kids, your family, and you want to invest into your life, invest into life insurance, a life insurance policy. And I'm not talking like the fucking commercials that come on at 3 a.m. This is a real thing. Just like we just started learning about credit, not like 10 years ago. Well, life insurance policy is a real thing, and it's collateral, and it's something that you could take to the bank if need be. It's a security net.
And like he just said with the life insurance, right? You get it and you teach your children what to do with the money too after they bury you. So that way the money actually helps them. Because just getting life insurance and you're not educating your child on financial education, it's just them just giving them money, letting them run wild. You know what I mean? Like it might last them a couple months, it might last them a year or something like that, depending on what the inflation is by the time.
Couple months probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but you got to teach them the education behind the money so they know what to do with the money to empower themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the main thing. Like, we have to We have to really drill that into our kids. And like I said, school is not going to teach them that. It's not going to teach them that. Like, we have to take time out of our day, no matter what we got going on, to sit our kid down and teach our kid about money. You know what I mean? Like,
Private schools teach it. Private schools teach it. That's because these parents invested into these schools for them to teach. So they get taught that.
See, and that's the thing, like you said, if I'm paying somebody to teach my kid, you're going to teach them what I want you to teach them because I'm paying you. If I'm not paying nothing, I don't have no say-so what you learn. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what people got to understand. This country is not really a country. This country is a business. You know what I mean? Like, this country is a business. Like, this country don't really love the American people. The American people are a commodity. They're something they need. They're a
It needs the American people.
Yeah, because
it needs the American people.
They don't love them, though. They don't love them, though. You know what I'm saying? And the second you understand what this is, me being American in this country is not me being a patriot, me speaking for the country. This is me as a worker for a corporation that's the strongest corporation on the planet because they muscle every other country. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what this is. So you can't be like, oh, why they ain't signing this bill? Why the George Floyd bill ain't signed yet? Why you think it's not signed? There's a reason for it.
Exactly.
They keep shoving all these other bills in your face, but they not signing that.
Right, you know, and you can go and do as much marching and protesting as you like.
That don't do nothing because
they're gonna just give the job to someone that's gonna do what they said.
Yeah, the money will make
sorry.
You know what I mean? That's what makes them move. And it's like money is not everything. Like the actual paper doesn't even mean anything because it's not backed by nothing. You know what I mean? Like, Nixon took the money off the gold standard in 1971. So really, they just print money just to be printed. Like, that's why we got an inflation now, because the way things work in life, just like they do with the banking system, you put in, something comes out. You put in, something comes out. You just like in life, you put in, something comes out. You know what I mean? When you eat, you got shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you go to school, you put money in the school, and you leave with education and a diploma. What happened with the pandemic, right? Half the country wasn't working, so nobody's giving anything. They're just taking that. Because because you got somebody at home right now, like, yo, I don't sell anything. I work a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, you do. You sell your time, because when you go to your job, you're selling your time. The 8-9 hours you're spending at your job, you're not actually shopping or buying anything. So you're selling. You know what I'm saying? So
can I add on to? And then I'll let you continue. I apologize once again. Because even when you go to an interview, you're selling yourself. You're showing, you're pretty much like, yo, listen, this is what I could do for you. At the same time, a lot of people get in interviews and they get nervous and they forget to actually reach, because you're signing a contract. So they forget to be like, yo, this is what I need from you as a company too, because they're so busy worrying about getting that job.
And you know, that's what it boils down to. It's like, the reason why we got the inflation and what we got right now is they kept printing money, but nobody was giving. They were just taking, because everybody was home. So what did everybody do? They went to Amazon. They went to here. They went to there because they had nothing else to do with their time. So that's why there's more money than there is people that can actually spend it, and that's why the prices are through the roof right now. They're trying to
and then
bring
the PPP loans. People, the PPP loans, man, we would never get an opportunity like that again.
Yeah, like that was supposed to be your way to invest and change your life. You know what I mean? That's really what it was. That's really what it was for.
And peep this comment down here regarding the interview. Court Love Saban said, interview works both ways. You are interviewing the company too.
Yeah, she's right. She's right. Absolutely. Yeah, because you trying to figure out, is this company right for you? You know what I mean? Like this is the right fit for me. This is gonna work, because we both got to work with each other. You know what I mean? Like, so she's definitely right about that. Yeah.
And always make yourself be headstrong in those situations rather than to be so, because people get so desperate. Be headstrong though when you walk into interviews. Trust me, companies love it. You have to be assertive. You have to be to the point where you like, yo, you know what you want. You know what you could deliver to them. And like she said, yo, what can you deliver to me under my circumstances? It's a contract you about to sign. It's not just getting a job. It's a contract you're signing. So like, always be assertive with yourself. Like, yo, listen, I need this, this, that. Yeah, people so worried about getting hired, they're afraid that a person is going to turn them away. You have no idea. You probably, I could, with confidence, I could walk into any business and get a job if that's the case. Because there's
Hmm.
one thing that every business has to do, and that's train you.
Yeah, that's and it's money invested in training you. So that makes you
Exactly.
it makes you something valuable to them because they put money into training you, and they don't want to just throw that out the window by letting you
Exactly.
leave. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
like you said, you gotta know both ways, man. You know what I mean? Like there's gotta be, and I think that's where we kind of went off track in this country. Like a lot of these companies forgot that. They forgot that they need the people as much as the people needed them. You know what I mean? Like the
The
balance of
people
power is not
forgot it, though.
people.
The
And
people
be and
gave
be
them more power than they actually deserve.
and before we get off, let's touch on this last comment right here. It says court law savings said again, PPP loans, and then the GoFundMe to stay out of jail. Mismanaged dollars for real.
Absolutely,
That's for real, for real.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
That's for real. We need to
Like to
get
me,
you up on here. I like that.
like like
Sorry,
the like the
brother.
go like the GoFundMe, like that was supposed to be for like like business opportunities and projects and people who want to invest in a new business, like not for when somebody dies and now they need a GoFundMe so they can bury the person. You know what I mean? Like that, like to
Or
me,
you
that's like
caught a
sad
flat
whenever I see that.
tire or
You know
some
what I
other
mean? Like
shit.
like that always like bothers me when I see that because I'm like, that's crazy. Like you were saying, like people don't have life insurance, they don't even think about it. And then your family got to try to scramble to try to, you know what I mean? Like give you a proper burial, like.
Well,
And
I
that's
say
not,
this
that's not
as
supposed to be
with
happening
the
in this
GoFundMe,
country.
it's proper ways people can go about it, but people go about it the wrong ways. Like I did two GoFundMes, and I only did them because me and my family got burnt out in December, and then
Mhm.
before that, I had to get this little artificial heart placed in my body, and I needed materials after to hold myself up. That's the only reason I did them joints,
Yeah.
and I ain't gonna want to do
Yeah,
them joints.
that's a good reason to
No,
do it. Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
But you did it for the right reasons. That's not what he said. He's saying that people
Nah,
use
that's
these
no.
things for the
I'm just
most
that's
ridiculous
what I'm saying.
reasons.
And that's what I'm touching on. I'm saying I used it for the right reason. There's people out here
Uh-huh.
doing the
Yeah,
BS way, which is retarded. Like it's like,
Yeah.
yo, you need to
Oh,
use
my
that for the
car
right reason.
tire is flat. I need $6,000. Shit like that. I've done seen shit like this. No, shit is wild. But
yeah.
if they had other things in order, rather than them spending so much time and energy to placing these type of things in order where they're looking for handouts, if they place that time and energy into making sure they was secure in a different way, they wouldn't even have that problem.
And
And I'm
like the
not
funny,
speaking on your case because, like I said, you had the best, one of the best reasons.
Nah,
and
that's what I was doing. I was just putting that out there. One of the worst GoFundMes I seen somebody asking for money for studio time in their mixtape. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
You see what I'm saying? Well, that's what brother like what he got on, and I like that's why I'm like, yo, I love this interview,
and
man.
like
You
the
don't even know how much I appreciate you coming up here, bro.
I
Like,
appreciate y'all
shit,
for having me, man. Like, and the funny thing
Word.
about it, right, before we get off, right, like to everybody watching, like when you go down the rabbit hole, right, and starting just asking questions and just reviewing stuff, and everything literally like opens up. And it's to the point now for me, like when I watch certain things on TV, especially with like CNN and all that stuff, I can see right through the play. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these people are really afraid that Trump might get in office again. That's why they're trying to convict him now. If you notice what they're doing at the trial and everything like that. This is the first time I've seen a trial where the person wasn't present that they trying to get convicted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like right
right?
there, I'm right there, I'm looking like, yo, like this is a different situation. Like he don't even gotta be there. They talking about the man like this is crazy. But they realize the type of power he has with the fans that he has, and they're like, yo, he's a threat. We gotta get him out the way before 2024. You know what I mean? Like, but on the same token, look what's going on with this upcoming election now. Notice how the World Cup is going to be in November, right? They tell you it's in November because Qatar is so hot. They don't want the players passing out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Brazil was hot as hell too, and they had it in Brazil. So was South Africa in 2010 when they had it in South Africa. But when do we do our primary elections? In November, right? So if everybody's watching the World Cup, who's going to be watching the elections and knowing who the House seats and everything are going to? I'm just saying.
Yeah, he makes a great point. And before we get out of here,
Media is a
let people know where
motherfucker.
they can let people know where they can find you at. Let them know about your website if you're gonna have any merch coming. You know, I seen
Yeah.
somebody ask about an anime Anime Sean shirt and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you do
And I
make
got
a
his
shirt with
link.
that
I'm gonna
cover,
post it in the comments again. His link
word.
to all of his websites and his stuff. I'm gonna post it in the
Yeah,
comment again.
so I mean, I appreciate y'all for having me on here. Everybody that's watching, you can follow me on IG, Rickshon ENT LLC. That's the official company, Rickshon Entertainment. The easiest way to find all the stuff, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, SoundCloud, you can go to rickshon.com. Straight up, go to rickshon.com. It'll take you to every single social site, the YouTube, everything. I got shirts up. This is my shirt right here with the logo for the Rickshon
Fire.
Entertainment. We got them in black, we got them in gray, we got them in blue. Right now, I don't have any sizes for the kids, but right now for the adults, it goes from medium to 2X. You know what I mean? We do have pre-orders. If you go on the website, rickshon.com/shop, you'll see it right there. You can hit it up. Tell us what you need. We'll ship it out to you as fast as possible.
I'll definitely be copping one of them shirts too.
Appreciate it, fellas. Appreciate it.
While we at it too, can I point out another thing that this man does? And I believe I talked to you about it, Bills. This
I
man
was just gonna
does
bring it up too.
graphic
Go ahead.
work. He
Yes,
does
bring
the
that up.
graphic work. And I was talking to Bills. No bullshit. I was talking to Bills, and me and him, we're gonna talk to you soon because we want something to like promote this here, and we
Yeah.
want you to do it. Well, I want you to do it, and he
Look,
agreed with me. And
I'm gonna give y'all the cheat code right now, right? Like, it's actually a website I use called renderforest.com. It's a monthly subscription, right? And they have templates of so much stuff, whether it's commercials, YouTube intros, outros, like the computer chip graphic designers that I use for my phone.
we actually want you
Yeah,
to
like,
do it. We appreciate you
yeah,
giving that, but I want you to do it because
no doubt,
I
no doubt.
I wanna know the
I'd
name of this because
appreciate that.
I know me. I'm gonna go on there and play around with it myself. So
Yeah,
you said
it's called Render Forest, like RENDER Forest.com.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
That,
literally like a slew of just like templates. That's what I use a lot of. If you go to my YouTube page, you look at some of my music on my YouTube, the graphics behind that is all via that site. That's what I use to do a lot of the stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah,
and
But
I'm
if we
definitely
could
give
talk
my
to you
whole on
about the
that.
visuals, we could talk
absolutely,
to
yeah,
you about the
absolutely. I got you.
visuals, and you know, because my boy Noah, he wants to do us like a little jingle for our joint, and you could
Yeah.
place his jingle along with your visuals.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
like
Yeah. No problem.
we compensate. This is not a free ride for us,
Yeah,
and I'm
we
willing to
we all trying
invest.
to build here.
I invest.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
invest.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna do. I like that. I seen it and it stood out to me. I hit Bills up like immediately after I seen it, and I went over it with him. You know what I'm saying? Like not even other guys. And I'm sorry, Rex. I'm sorry, approach with caution. But yeah, I went
Shout
over
out
it
to
with
all of them.
Bills, and
But we here
yo,
though.
that's a fact. Those my brothers.
You know,
But yeah, I
good
went over it
looking
with
for
him, man.
pulling up, Rickshon. We appreciate you. We
I
hope to see
appreciate
you
y'all.
much more on this channel. No, we know we're gonna see you much more because we gonna get some
Absolutely.
things going.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all fellas, man.
For real.
No
I
doubt, man.
appreciate you, man. And you came up here. You gave us you gave us your music. You gave us your knowledge, man, and that's highly appreciated. We can't wait to get you back up here. Especially a
Absolutely. Anytime,
a
fellas.
financial episode would be marvelous from you, man, because
Yeah, yo,
you're a very
just let me
smart
know,
man,
fellas. Just
and
let me know.
I
I'm
like
here.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but I
definitely
got
gonna do
y'all.
that. We're gonna set up a financial episode. Let you just go in, like,
Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
no doubt, man. Keep doing your thing. Love is
And
love.
And shout out to Court Loves. We want to get you up here too, Loves, because I could tell you was talking knowledge inside of the comment section. So like for real, like we would love to just get you up here. Hey, it don't even have to be promotion, it could be conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Straight
Any
like that.
enlightened conversation, knowledge, we all trying to learn and build. So pull up with it and let's get it going.
What I'm talking about, man.
Right.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, Rick
No
Shaw,
doubt,
stay
bro.
up and
Thank
stay
you,
blessed.
man.
Love is love, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right, y'all stay blessed, man.
Love
Peace.
is
All
love,
right,
y'all.
peace.